Good evening, everybody, and a very warm welcome to this world premiere screening of I Am Urban. It has been a long haul to get here, I'm not going to lie. There have been a few obstacles in the road, not so much stones in the roads, sometimes more like boulders. In many cases, actual kind of Himalayan scale avalanches of rock. But we got here in the end. Suffice to say that a lot of blood, sweat and tears has gone into what you're going to see on the screen this evening. There is a vast number of people that I really ought to thank, but the people involved with this film are far too numerous for a full roll call. They're also far too highly strung for a partial one, so but there are a few people who I really do need to single out. First of all, Bernard Hare. Bernie, upstairs. Bernard Hare wrote the wonderful memoir Urban Grimshaw and the Shed Crew, on which this film is based. And without you, Bernie, we simply wouldn't be here. Thank you for allowing us to tell your story. Also with Bernie here tonight are some of the original Shed Crew, the kids whose stories you will see told on the screen this evening. It is your story, and thank you so much for letting us into your world. Often people are asked who they would like to play them in the event that their life story ever became a movie. Bernie, you ended up with Richard Armitage, I hope. I think we'd all be pleased with that. But thank you for everything. Thank you for your support, for your writing, and above all, as I say, for letting us into your world. It's been a real privilege to know you. Writers often don't get the respect that they deserve. They also have the capacity to shut down entire industries for months on end. So if I don't mention the screenplay, this could be a very, very short evening. We owe a huge debt to Tiffany Sharp, who wrote the screenplay for I Am Urban, adapting Bernie's book. Tiffany has also been an absolute stalwart, a huge rock of support to me throughout the entire process. I also want to thank, I've got some notes here, I didn't think I was going to need them, but, you know, there we go. Joking apart, everything starts with the script. Without a good screenplay, you don't have anything. Doesn't matter how good your actors are, doesn't matter how beautiful your cinematography is, without a great script, you just don't have a film. So thank you, Tiff, and thank you, Bernie. I also want to thank all of our post-production team, our goodness me, our brilliant genius editor, Anna, who's here tonight. I want to thank all of our investors and shareholders and everyone else who've stood by us throughout this entire process, and also our UK distributor, the man who's sorting out our UK distribution, Gareth Jones, who I can tell you now that we are going to be in cinemas in, 2 in London. We're going to be in Sevenoaks, Dartford, Bristol, Leeds, Nottingham, Peterborough, Reading, Middlesbrough, Herne Bay, Bridport in Dorset, and this list is being added to all the time. So we're looking forward to a really terrific theatrical release over the coming months. Finally, I really want to thank our amazing cast and crew, and our director, Candida Brady, who her vision was to put this story onto the screen, and without her, it wouldn't have happened. And with the exceptional cinematographic skills of Peter Field, I think they've created something quite beautiful that you'll see on the screen tonight. And our cast and crew, as I say, all of whom were an absolute joy to work with. And I'm now going to introduce you to 2 of them. I'm going to introduce you to Anna Friel, who plays Greta, and Fraser Kelly, who plays Urban, who will come and introduce the film. When we started shooting this film, Fraser was a 4'10", 12-year-old with an unbroken voice, and his height, age, and vocal register now are a physical embodiment of how difficult it can be to get an independent film off the ground. So, Fraser, it's great to see you here. Just before I hand over to Anna and Fraser, I just want to say a couple of words about Action for Children. You've all been given a little postcard on your seats about which says on the back a little bit about Action for Children. It's a charity that we are very proud to be supporting. It's a charity that supports children and young people all across the UK, kids who are like Urban. They are deprived. They have very little hope in life. And Action for Children gives them a voice. It makes sure that their voices are heard, and it is an extraordinary charity. And I do hope that there's a QR code on the card. I do hope that you may consider donating to them later on. Not now. I don't want you to be scanning QR codes while the movie's on, but later. Anyway, thank you very much for coming, Anna and Fraser.
Hello. I can't believe we're actually going to get to see this movie. I think it's been 10 years almost. We made it back in 2014, and this is the very first time I'm seeing you just behind the backstage. So much has happened. But I remember reading the script and being incredibly moved and so saddened to learn that it was a true story. And I think the film hits and highlights certain topics that still sadly exist today. But I hand you over to the star of the show. It plays my son, Urban, Fraser.
Thank you. Firstly, I just wanted to say thank you all for being here today. We've got some of the real shed crew up here. I'd like to take this moment to dedicate this evening to the real Urban Lee. As a 12-year-old, seeing this script as a sheltered child, it was one of them where you can't really believe it. But lucky for me, I had the best teacher who guided me through his world, through his hopes and dreams and ambitions of a better day. So I'd just like to say thank you, Lee. I hope you enjoy. Thank you.